Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. Today, big news for Hannan Metals. And we want to get, of course, an update on this from Michael Hudson, the CEO. Good morning or good afternoon to Australia. How are you?
Yeah, it's good morning here, afternoon in Canada, and something else for you in Europe.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, we just saw your news, and great that you are taking the time for us to talk to us. You announced a $2.6 million strategic investment from Teck Resources, one of the largest commodity or mining companies in the world. Hey, how did you get that? That's fantastic.
Well, it is a fantastic news. It's huge news for the company. And how did we get it? Well, the quality of the projects and the quality of the team managing those projects, I think you could say. Jochen, remembering we've got very grassroots projects. We've got, we haven't seen any drill holes yet, but we've uncovered a new porphyry belt in the back arc over the other side of the Andes, on the eastern side of the Andes. It's over 150 kilometers. This is unique. It is different. And this validation by Teck, I think, goes a long way towards explaining that.
Absolutely. No, I see it the same way. But you mentioned already no drill hole. There's no resource so far. That is very, very unusual that such a large company, invests at that early stage into a small explorer. That's amazing.
It is, but you know, it is an interesting juncture in the world, right? Where we really are short of a lot of the key metals. This is a copper gold porphyry. We have a copper silver project in joint venture with JOGMEC, the Japanese government, also in Hannan, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a moment. But you know, we're going to mine and consume more copper in the next 20 years than we have for the history of Earth. The e-revolution is here, and it's only going to accelerate. And we've only got a very small supply in the bank, if you like, in the ground in existing reserves. The world needs to find a lot more. And what we've been doing in Hannan is taking the big swing, looking for big deposits in fertile areas of the earth that have delivered these deposits before. And we have had quite a lot of success at the early stages, huge amount of risk still, but what we see, we like very much. We've got all the right ingredients for at least 7 porphyries that are sticking out of the ground in this area down south at Valiente, and over 100 kilometers of strike extent of a sediment-hosted system that is in joint venture with JOGMEC. So these are big systems, and it's what the majors like. It's what the majors need. And they spread their risk by investing in companies such as ours.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen last week, I've done some research on the copper markets, and it was really interesting because on Bloomberg, I saw something that the market will go from 25 million this year to 40 million tons by 2040. That's only 18 years. And I've done some mathematics, and that means that we need 800,000 tons per year in addition copper production. From where shall that come from? So like the Escondidas or the Grasbergs, if you want to have it in that sense, we need 2 Grasbergs every year or 1 Escondida every year, almost. Or every second year, 1 Escondida and 1 Grasberg every year. That is crazy. I don't know any bigger project which can deliver that in the next 5 years. Isn't it?
Well, if you look at the top 5 mines, copper mines in the world, and you just named a couple of them, they're all still the top 5 or top 10. You can make it it existed 10 years ago. So we haven't found any new big deposits, and the big ones that are still the biggest contributors are producing less at lower grades. So they're all had their heyday, if you like, and the world needs a lot of these big new deposits, and it's almost another topic for another day. But it's very hard to see how the world's going to get there in the time frames that we're mandating for these build outs, for the e-revolution, for the expansion of the population, etc. It is mind-numbingly staggering. But simply put, these assets will be worth a lot more, a lot more if we're successful as we have been so far. But if we continue to de-risk them, they're going to be in short supply, and the world needs them.
Absolutely. So with Teck Resources, is there any obligation associated with that investment? Meaning, do they help you technical wise, or can they tell you where to drill or what to do?
No, the only obligation written in the press release and in the sub agreement is that they have asked and been granted the right to maintain their equity level. So they've come in at 9%, which is $2.6 million. So they have the right to go pro rata on that in the future. That's the only obligation. Of course, as with any shareholder, we're in constant communication with them, and you take on their views, and management takes on the views of all shareholders, and of course they're going to be a very good shareholder going forward with a lot of experience. So
super. So going forward, that is the question now. What you want to do with those $2.6 million at Valiente, is it called? I think, right?
Well, the funds are to be used right across the company, but of course, the San Martin sediment-hosted copper silver system is in joint venture with JOGMEC. So JOGMEC are fully funding that. So we won't be funding that, and we do have projects in Ireland that we will be working on a little bit just to maintain the claims over there. But the majority of the work that we're focusing on as a company is, of course, Valiente, which is the copper gold porphyries, and that will continue, and we'll accelerate that. We'll fly a very large airborne magnetic survey, a $500,000 survey. We have got 6 geologists already on the ground, and our aim is to not only define one of these areas in detail, which we've done over the last few months, and we owe the market a big update on that shortly, where we go in and map in detail, soil sample in detail, channel in detail, and basically get the targets drill ready. So we've got one area over 10 kilometres, 2 porphyries actually, at Valiente, already in that status. And it's 2 porphyries and an epithermal target in between. But we are looking to get another 2 more areas before the end of the year up to that sort of level of understanding. And then, of course, the magnetic survey will throw up, ideally, a lot more opportunities that we haven't been able to see sticking out of the ground as readily. So we will continue to de-risk all these areas and make them drill ready as we start the permitting process, which is, as we know in Peru, a slow process, at least a year.
So that means by the end of next year, you should have done the first drills then?
Ideally, that would be our greatest aim. Yes, it will take that long, though, and the projects need the work and the level of work. So we'll be very busy, and we'll be defining these systems. And the beauty is that they are sticking out of the ground, so we can get 2D, and that will keep us busy for the next year.
Okay, super. So that looks all fantastic with Teck here. So maybe also a short notice on the JOGMEC joint venture. What's going on there? What have you done, or what have they done in the last months?
Well, we're managing that project, so they're fully funding. So it's our geologists again. We've got 5 geologists working on that project, and there's really 2 parts of that project now. One is the area where we have permitted for drilling, and we're waiting for the final permissions. They should come through early next year. So we hope to be drilling on that project early next year in what we call the Dia 1 area, and that's where we've got 10 kilometres of strike. We've got over 100 channels. They average a metre at around 2% copper and an ounce silver. We really look forward to drilling that area, and now we're starting to extend that search out beyond that area. Within we've got 100 kilometres of tenure in that joint venture. We're now working on the northern permit, Gera, that we're working up to try and get that into the Dia 2 stage, and you'll see more information around the groundwork there. So really, as I just described, big for the porphyry areas, big ground areas, de-risking them in the 2D method of mapping and soil sampling and rock chip sampling, etc., to get them drill ready, and we're banking up targets. So it's going to be a very interesting next 6 to 12 to 18 months as we start drilling next year and then moving through all the targets across all the projects.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds like a great game plan, I would say. And yeah, we keep fingers crossed for you guys. You have the right partners. I mean, 2 big boys in a small exploration company. Really, again, congratulations, Michael, because I think this is a double vote of big confidence, right?
Without a doubt, we're very humbled and excited to have these partners with us.
Super, perfect. So keep us updated, please. Keep it going, and we look forward to the next news.
Thanks, Jochen.
Super. Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Hudson, the CEO of Hannan Metals. And you heard it again, a big bang for the company. Teck Resources is going into the company, investing $2.6 million for approximately 9% of the company at such an early stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really amazing because extremely unusual, without a drill hole, without a resource, without anything, just having great porphyries. They know that they are there, and Teck is already coming in. And don't forget, JOGMEC has also a joint venture with Hannan Metals on the San Martin project. So 2 fantastic big companies working with that still small explorer, but de-risking the company. And I think Michael and the team has done an amazing job. I'm a proud shareholder of the company. You really should have a look onto this fantastic company, Hannan Metals. Check it out. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.